I have a couple of various questions, and then I do have some Patreon questions that I do have to ask you.
Okay.
What is your greatest accomplishment in life?
My 16-year-old Chihuahua. Okay, I'll do better. But but the reality is that I rescued him at 9 months old, and he was extremely sick. And without steroids, almost his entire life, and handmade food for his entire life, I have been able to keep that creature alive and drug-free. So I'm impressed. Anyhow, it's pretty much an accomplishment. Let me see, an accomplishment. I don't know. I would say perseverance, but the realities are is that I'm too lazy to go anywhere else. I would say, honestly, my marriage is an insane accomplishment because it was not easy. Y'all get married.
You made it through the gangbang.
Made it through the gangbang. You all get married. You need to know that you're going to have to just throw whatever mental rule book you have out the window. He and I fought and were in and out of that relationship for probably 8 years. One foot out the door at all times. And then one day, we decided that this behavior was no longer an option. And then we decided to get married, which should have shattered the whole thing into 50 million pieces, as we all know. That is not the way to go. And from the day we got married forward, our relationship has been the most solid relationship I've ever had in my life. So for whatever reason, marriage actually stopped our bullshit. And I have no idea how we defeated those particular odds, because usually they're like,
it's the opposite.
The last thing you do is get married. No, I think our big problem was, and I think he would agree with this, is that he had previously been married for almost 19 years. Mm-hmm. And I think that he was in a position where he was like, I really love this woman, but God, do I want to and I wasn't even pushing for marriage, but he was like, there's a part of me that doesn't want to yield all of me. Mm-hmm. So there was always a part of him that was like, oh God, I want to be here. But part of me is like, am I going to give up freedom again? Yeah. And that tango that he had with it caused us an insane amount of grief. Mm. And then the day I was like, you know what? You do you. I'm leaving. Gotta go because I can't do this tango anymore. It's just too hot and cold. He came back with, you know what? I'm working on myself. I'll show you. This is what I want. This is what we're going to do. And I was like, okay. And then we went to a therapist together. And the therapist said, so we weren't living together at that point. The therapist was like, what are you hoping? I mean, what are your goals? And he said, well, I'm going to want to marry her in a year. And I was like, that's what? And he goes, you should have known that. I told you.
Was that your proposal? In the therapist's office?
He goes, I told you I wanted to take you to Hawaii, marry you. I go, well, you kind of said it one day in jest in front of Jenna, asking her what she was doing around New Year's. I mean, but you didn't really, that really wasn't a thing. Like, you just were like, hey, what are you doing at New Year's? Because I think, I want to take her to Hawaii and get married. And Jenna was like, okay, and I was like, oh, you're so funny. And now he's like, yeah, I want to do this. And she was like, wow, does that make you happy? And I was like, yeah, I guess. Like, and then she goes, great, let's plan a wedding. And I was like, sure, what's happening? Like, and then I left and I looked at him and I was like, we got to stop coming to her because inside of a month, I'm going to be in some sort of like fertility treatment. I don't know. Like, this is moving very quickly. And then it happened. And little Jenna Fox went and she was the best man, the bridesmaid, the cameraman, the music coordinator, the hairdresser. And
I believe that she could tackle all of those things.
She did them all simultaneously. That's the best part. Simultaneously. She had a camera around with this. She had a speaker in her hand for music. Oh my
God, I love that.
She had the vows in her dress. Like, she was like a one-step shop. It's awesome.
That is amazing. I love that.
Hey guys, if you want to support my show, then you should think about joining my Patreon. At my Patreon, I offer all kinds of amazing perks in exchange for your financial support. From live streams of my interviews as they are happening, to bonus Q&As, behind the scenes photos and videos of my shoots, plus cool merch like stickers, mugs, and hoodies, we have you covered. So go to patreon.com/HollyRandallUnfiltered, and while you're at it, make sure that you click that subscribe button so you don't miss a single one of my new updates.